Chapter 1. The Lone Rancher. In the rolling hills of Montana, nestled between golden wheat fields and towering pine forests, lived a man named William Hart. William was a millionaire rancher, the owner of Heartland Acres, one of the largest and most prosperous cattle farms in the state. With a rugged jawline, deep-set blue eyes, and a voice like thunder on the plains, he was as admired as he was mysterious. Though he had everything, a thriving business, loyal ranch hands, and a sprawling estate, his heart remained empty. For years, William buried himself in work, haunted by a past love that ended before it truly began. The townsfolk often whispered about the handsome recluse, wondering if he would ever find someone to melt the ice around his heart. Chapter 2. City lights and dusty roads. Across the country, in the bustling streets of Chicago, lived a woman named Clara Evans. She worked 2 jobs to support her younger brother and their aging grandmother. Clara was the epitome of resilience, strong, independent, and selfless. But despite her determination, the weight of life in the city was wearing her down. One fateful day, Clara came across an advertisement for a seasonal caretaker position at a ranch in Montana. The job promised room, board, and a decent wage. On a whim, driven by desperation and a strange longing for open skies, Clara applied. A week later, she packed her meager belongings and boarded a bus westward, her heart full of uncertainty. Chapter 3. Worlds Collide. When Clara arrived at Heartland Acres, the contrast to her urban life was staggering. The air smelled of pine and soil. The silence was broken only by the lowing of cattle and the rustle of wind through the grass. William met her at the gate, skeptical of her city roots, but intrigued by her fierce gaze. Their first weeks together were tense. Clara struggled with the physical demands of ranch life, while William's stoic demeanor often left her feeling inadequate. But slowly, their dynamic began to shift. William saw her determination, her unwillingness to quit. Clara discovered his hidden kindness, in the way he tended to sick animals, or how he helped an orphaned calf find its mother. One afternoon, Clara stayed late in the barn to help deliver a calf. Her clothes were soaked, her hands muddy, but her eyes sparkled with pride. William brought her a warm blanket and a mug of cocoa, and for the first time, she saw softness in his smile. Chapter 4. Beneath the Stars. One evening, after a long day mending fences, William invited Clara to join him for supper. They sat on the porch, sharing a simple meal while the sky turned lavender. Stars blinked into existence above them. "You miss the city?" William asked, his voice low. Clara shook her head. "I miss my family. But this place, it gives me peace. Something I never had before." That night, their hands brushed and a spark flared between them. Brief but undeniable. In the days that followed, William began to teach Clara how to ride. They'd gallop across the fields, laughter trailing behind them like music. Evenings turned into shared stories by the fire, and the silence between them became comfortable, warm. Chapter 5. The Hidden Past. Just as their connection deepened, a letter arrived from Chicago. Clara's brother had been in an accident. Without hesitation, she packed her things and left, leaving only a note behind. William read it with a heavy heart, the sting of abandonment all too familiar. Weeks passed. He threw himself into work, trying to forget her, but nothing could fill the void she left behind. Meanwhile, Clara nursed her brother back to health. When he was well enough, she made a decision. She would return to Heartland Acres, not just for the job, but for William. Chapter 6. Return to Ranch. Clara returned to the ranch in late autumn. The trees were ablaze with color, and the air carried the promise of change. She found William in the stables, brushing down his favorite horse. He looked up, eyes wide with surprise and something deeper. "I came back," she said softly. "If you'll have me." He didn't respond with words. Instead, he walked to her and pulled her into a kiss that tasted of longing and hope. Chapter 7. Love Grows. As winter set in, their bond deepened. They worked side by side, built routines, shared laughter and sorrows. William opened up about his past, a woman he once loved who left him for a wealthier man. Clara shared her dreams of starting a small bookshop and teaching children to read. They adopted a stray dog they named Rusty, who became a part of their daily life. Clara began helping local children with reading lessons, setting up a small corner in the barn with books and cushions. The ranch came alive not just with livestock, but with laughter and learning. One snowy evening, William taught Clara how to waltz in the barn under strings of fairy lights. They danced to the crackling radio, surrounded by the soft sounds of winter and the scent of hay. It became their tradition, their private celebration of love. Together, they imagined a future built on mutual respect, love, and shared dreams. Chapter 8. The Proposal. On Christmas morning, William led Clara to a snow-covered hill overlooking the ranch. A small wooden bench stood there, adorned with holly and twinkling lights. He knelt in the snow and offered her a simple gold ring. "This land means everything to me, but it's nothing without you. Will you stay? Will you be my home?" Tears filled her eyes. "Yes, William. Always." Chapter 9. The Twist. Months later, as wedding plans bloomed, Clara received a surprising letter. A lawyer informed her she had inherited a vast estate from her estranged father, a man she believed had abandoned her family. The inheritance made her wealthier than even William. She was stunned but hesitant. She didn't want wealth to change what they had. When she told William, he simply smiled. "Money never mattered to me." "You do." Later, they used part of the inheritance to build a community library on the ranch, the Evans Hart Learning Center. It became a sanctuary for local children and a testament to their shared vision. They also funded scholarships for rural youth, helping young dreamers chase their aspirations beyond the horizon. Chapter 10. Fields of the Heart. They married beneath a canopy of wildflowers, surrounded by friends, ranch hands, and Clara's family. As they exchanged vows, a gentle breeze whispered through the fields. After the wedding, William surprised Clara with a honeymoon trip to the Pacific coast, a place she had always dreamed of visiting. They rode horses along the beach, watched sunsets by the fire, and danced barefoot under the stars. Back at Hartman Acres, life settled into a rhythm of joy and purpose. Clara published a children's book inspired by their love story, while William expanded the ranch into a haven for rescued animals. Clara and William didn't just bridge two worlds. They built a new one where love wasn't defined by wealth or status, but by commitment, resilience, and the courage to open one's heart. And in the golden light of the setting sun, amidst the fields they now tended together, they lived, not just happily ever after, but fully, truly, and deeply in love.